Well, as you all know, it is Black History Month, and this is a month that we celebrate, well, actually a year that we celebrate for all the accomplishments for Black people and people in general of color, of all the accomplishments, everything that they done in their life to make such a great moment, such a long-lasting memory that will always be near and dear to our hearts for everything that they put into the community of Black people. I am your host, Sensei. This is Sensei Reality News. I just want to talk about all the greatness that we received from ever since I was a kid. The Jet magazine. The Jet magazine holds so many historical, legendary, whether it's music artists, whether it's actors, whether it's producers. You know, a lot of people have graced the front of the Jet magazine. Wasn't just any type of magazine, y'all, that you could just be on. You have to really make your mark in the game and really have done something to set your name in stone to be on front of such a historical, great, monumental cover we call the Jet magazine. Now, when I was a kid, the Jet magazine, when I saw Kid and Play, on the back of the Jet magazine. It was like a Sprite. It was a picture of them from the Sprite commercial that they did in '92. And when I saw that, I just became infatuated with Kid from Kid and Play's hairstyle. The box fade, man. I don't know what it was about that fade, but that fade, I tried to get my high top fade to be as high as it is, and I was so mad because I could never get my high top that damn high. And I'm like, how did Kid from Kid and Play, how did he get his shit that high? I still to this day can't seem to understand was he able to get his hair that damn high. But yeah, that was when I was probably 6 years old. I started growing my high top fade, started to get inspired, and that right there set the tone for me. Because when I seen Will from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, when that was coming on, around the same time in the 90s, I seen Will's fade. I was like, yeah, I used to be in the mirror every second looking at my fade. But I was also infatuated with grease. My God, man, the grease I used to put in my hair, it was almost a crime. All that blue magic, I used the whole jar. It's like I had an OCD, obsessive, compulsive disorder when it comes to blue magic grease. It was insane. But the Jet magazine, that just showed you how much of an impact that not only these, whether it's actors or musicians, artists, producers, executive producers, it just showed you the impact that they had on me for so far as a fade. And just how important that was to me as a kid, for me to have a fade and just be so acting like that was my everything. Like the fade was just my everything. Like it was like if I had to choose between to eat dinner or to make sure that my fade was straight when I was a kid, I would choose making sure my fade was straight. How crazy is that? But yeah, man, the Jet magazine, Bow Wow, later on, early 2000s, I was a big Bow Wow fan. I even had the Beware the Dog, the first album. As you just saw, Bow Wow was graced the cover of the Jet magazine. And then Chris Brown. You know, Chris Brown is like one of my favorites, still to this day, R&B singers. You know, I feel like Chris, he has hit so many pivotal points, like monumental type of, stages in his life, and him still being in his early 30s and still with his mid 30s. I think he's 35, but he's still young. And for him to be able to just accomplish, like him and Bow Wow, like for them to accomplish everything they accomplished from back then, and to still be able to make moves and still do their thing and still have a, carry that legacy on to this day is just, man, that's crazy. Especially Chris Brown, man. For him to be able to stay consistent for those many years throughout all the things that he's been through, it just shows you, man, the strength the strength of a man when it comes down to, what his faith relies in, and that's God. Nothing but the God. So, shout out to Chris Brown. He just received what's that award show, man? I want to say that it ain't not the Oscars. He just received an award. I can't even think of the name, y'all, right now because I'm so into this whole, video about, everything dealing with, the Jet magazine, how important the Jet magazine was for the black culture. Yeah, that being alone is said. The Jet magazine, like, you just had to be there. When you open up the Jet magazine, you go to the back part, and of course, we all know that the Jet Beauty of the Week, is like one of the most important real reasons why I used to always look forward to, seeing the Jet magazine, because I wanted to see who the Jet Beauty of the Week was. And it had so many beautiful black sisters in the Jet Beauty of the Week. Natural. I'm talking about no BBLs. This was way before the BBL era, when you had like black women with naturally thick thighs and just all body was just natural. Beautiful. Pretty face, pretty eyes, like smile, like these were some beautiful black women, and it made you look at black women and just be like, damn, how much more can God bless the black woman? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it was just that amazing to look at such a work of art piece when it comes down to so many different black women that we see in the Jet Beauty magazine. And that's just me just showing my appreciation as a kid and just seeing all that and just like, just loving every single one for each week. It was just a beautiful thing. But to bypass that part to go off into the Jet magazine also had in the back were the list of songs that made the countdown into to see what was like the top 16, the top 20 songs in what I want to say the US. The Jet magazine had that, man. I remember just seeing Tupac All Eyes on Me #1 at one point. And they used to have Keith Sweat in the top 6. It was like the top 16, I think. I said top 20, but top 16, I think, songs, I think, in the United States. And man, it showed you just, it just made you like think to the point of how they just kept track of everything when it came down to music. The Jet magazine, just everything that was going on in the music industry. It's like the Jet magazine, had a timestamp on every single part of it. And they made it to the magazine where you had flip all the way to the back when you had the picture of the artist that was #1, and it had the picture of the art. It was two artists, the #1 and the #2. The #1, his picture or her picture would be right there, and the #2 of the top 16 would be right underneath it. That picture would be right underneath the #1 picture. And it was like, it was just so much culture and just so much love that was put and thought that was put into the Jet magazine. It just made you just want to just buy a whole issue of it. Like, we used to get Jet magazines and, all type of magazines with people that look like us on front of the magazines. And it was just a great moment, man. And the Jet magazine, the Ebony magazine, I don't want to forget about Ebony magazine. The Ebony magazine also, that was just like one of the many magazines that we had. That was people that looked like us, and the magazines was for people like us. Or it could be any other race, whether you white or whatever. Like if you like the culture of what black people provided and they continuously to provide, the Jet magazine and Ebony magazine, and it's a list, man. It's a list. I think, hold on. I think I got a couple of those magazines. Well, For an example of what I was talking about, right here, the Ebony magazine, 2 black women on front, 2 business type black women on front, and the other one with The Rock on front, the GOAT, Dwayne Johnson. That's when The Rock had hair. And another Ebony joint with Percy Miller, Master P, Russell Simmons, and other guy. And we had the McCann. I don't think this was like a everybody type magazine, no matter what race we were. But Oprah Winfrey was on front of this one, and this one was called the McCain. The McCain. The McCalls. There we go. The McCalls volume CXXI number 11. This was the issue of 1995. You see, I was 5 years old. You know, but this is the importance of the culture, our culture, Black History Month, Black History Year. And I just wanted to show my appreciation to everything and everybody that contributed to the 90s, early 2000s, whether it's the magazines, film, anything and everything, music, and just making my childhood a childhood that's worthwhile of just you know, just being just thankful for, man. Thank you to the 90s. Thank you to the early 2000s. And everybody that was part of my childhood that was in this video. Happy Black History Month. Sensei Reality News. Y'all have a good evening. Wherever you are in the world, good morning. And I'll holler at y'all on the next one. One love. Peace.